What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. We back in these streets, man. We back in these work streets. Back in these work streets. And we got a little something to talk about right quick. We're going to talk about it all during the week as Dallas gets prepared for the Baltimore Ravens, which are 0-2. But let's talk about that game yesterday against those New Orleans Saints. And I know you've heard it from 3,122 people from the Dallas Cowboys community, but you haven't heard it from me. So let's go. So first, Dallas gets throttled yesterday, 44, what is it? I don't even know the score. 44-19, 44-17, it don't matter. Dallas didn't do nothing, scored one possession, had a lot of gaffes. But let me just, I'm not even going to go through breakdowns of yards per carry, EPA, all that other stuff. Let's just talk about why Dallas got their ass kicked. All right, so let's get into it. So first, on the offensive side of the ball, I haven't looked at the all 22. I was out doing my thing yesterday, so I'm going to look at the all 22 today. So I'm not going to just sit there and say this and that because I didn't see all the insides of it. But just from the outside looking in, the things I talked about are coming to pass already. So I find it comical, honestly. I sure ain't mad at this because it definitely said it could happen. But what I just listened to Twitter yesterday and it was funny. And I just watched and listened. And I said, everybody trying to tell me about this running back situation, right? Everybody trying to tell me, ooh, Ezekiel Elliott. Oh, you gonna see big. You gonna see big. Ezekiel Elliott's back now. You gonna see. He still got that juice in. We gonna do this. No, we're not. And Ezekiel Elliott ain't doing nothing. Okay? Not against no real good teams. Some regular teams. Average teams. But not no good teams. And like I said, I like Rico Dotto. But, last year was his year to prove to me that he could be the guy coming in next year. He didn't prove it. So I'm out on Rico Dotto. I wasn't hyped on him this year like I was last year because he showed me what he was last year. And you didn't take that next step. So if you didn't take that next step last year, what makes you think you're going to take it this year? No, I was out on that. And that's why I said go get you a running back in this draft. Go get you a young running back. So you're not going to have Dotto after this year probably. And you're not going to probably have Zeke. And you got what, Deuce Vaughn? No. And so what? You don't got no running backs for the future. So no, why not grab one now when you had the chance? But no, y'all went and got Ezekiel Elliott before that draft, and then y'all said, oh, we good, we got Zeke back. And then you want to hype Cowboys Nation like the return of Zeke and the number 15 and sell those jerseys and do all this. And guess what? Dallas is averaging how many yards a carry? What is Zeke doing this game? And I know Dallas got behind and whatever, and y'all think I'm bashing Zeke. But no, I'm just tired of this hype train. Dallas don't got no running game. I've been said it. I said you should have got one. Should have got one 2 years ago. The last 2 years you should have addressed that. You feel me? But y'all wanna laugh. Then that's what I talk about with this front office. Then I said y'all should have got Dalvin Cook last year. Not this year, the year before, when he still had some juice. Y'all ain't do that. Y'all get him this year, and then y'all try to hype him to us. Oh, we got Dalvin Cook now. All these signings I told y'all to get before they got older and before they downtrended. That's what I talk about. Dallas sits on their hands. They sit on their hands, and then when they sign somebody, they make it look like they did the world's greatest thing in the world. And no, you didn't. You a day late and $1 short, and it's going to get exposed, and that's what happened again. So you cut my dog Julius Woods, and you see that safety play, and I'm going to talk about that too. You cut that Rodgers kid, and look who you got out there, and they getting their ass kicked. And now you don't got that young boy, how you just lost Ridgeway. You see what I'm saying? So y'all can fool everybody else, front office. I didn't give y'all no props when Dak and CD got signed. I gave them agents props. I ain't giving the front office no props ever again, period. I don't care. So anyway, offensively, said that running game was going to get exposed, and I also said after that Cleveland game, play Dalvin Cook because Rico Dotto ain't it, right? What y'all do? Y'all want to do the same thing, and it's on Mike McCarthy too because you play this basic ass running scheme that don't fool nobody. It's not tricky. It's old. And it's so basic. It is so seen. Can we get some trickery? Can we get some movement? Can we get something? It's so basic and old looking. It's just like, oh, we can easily defend that. And so it's just, that's on Mike McCarthy and that play calling too. Get some better play calling. That basic stuff, Zeke diver, that's not working. So I said play Dalvin Cook after Cleveland, right? He need to get in there. Nope, you played that out and it got exposed again. Now everybody's talking about calling for Dalvin Cook. Now everybody, see, I'll be ahead of the game on this Cowboy stuff, y'all. Y'all be listening to all these other people out there that just be pumping it up, and it don't be real stuff. It's not real. It's not real. This is real here, and I ain't hating on nobody, but it's real here. Not pumping that up. You know what I mean? So now we talking Dalvin Cook, so we're gonna see him against the Ravens. So we'll see. I still feel like he got that long speed, but we're gonna see any veteran. But I still felt you should have got him a couple years ago, not this year. All right. Then when I talked about CeeDee Lamb, I have been said you need to get another receiver, and let's try to see the Ryan Flournoy, whatever the last name is. I apologize if I mess up your last name, but you still came from a small school, so everybody's like Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert was supposed to take the next level this year. He didn't do bad. Jalen Brooks, though, made a couple critical bad plays. You missed a block on the Brandon Cooks end around, and then you fell and you got that bad interception. Jalen Tolbert didn't play bad, but we look at the end of the day, and Brandon Cooks is just And I love Brandon Cooks' leadership, but he still don't excite you, right? I don't think teams are scared of him no more like when he first came in the league. You know what I mean? And then I don't know if that offensive dynamic is scary enough for these teams to be like, all right, let's worry about this. No, they kind of basic, and this is what we're going to do, and we're going to stop them. I just feel like teams come at Dallas like that. When a team puts in their mind that this is what they're going to do against Dallas, that's what they do. So running back room is bad. Ben said that. Ben said you need to upgrade it. I said you ain't got nobody without CD, and if CD were ever to get hurt or just hold out, it's going to be bad business. Now we're seeing it. You double CD, you trail him, you follow him, and you make these other players beat him. Jake Ferguson being out, you ain't really got no tight end. Yeah, Schoonmaker did something yesterday. Okay, but that's one game. You need to do a lot more than for me to get hyped about some Luke Schoonmaker, okay? So you see that after CeeDee Lamb, it ain't there. So things weren't addressed, and then you wait till the 6th round, 5th round to get a receiver, and he's from a small school. And yeah, he did that in the preseason, y'all. But you think he gonna just come in the regular season, and these other guys who have more experience than him, he's coming from a small school, all of a sudden now, because y'all don't like Jalen Tolbert or Jalen Brooks effed up, now y'all want to see Ryan? I'm telling y'all, my opinion, he ain't gonna do no better. He came from a small school, and preseason and NFL season, from small school to big NFL is a big difference. And I beg to differ. He's going to come in and turn up too. He needs some time. All right? So, Dak Prescott, the offense ain't really doing nothing. Scored one touchdown through the thing to Lamb, and really that was a lucky touchdown because Lamb ducked underneath the 2 defenders and then bailed out. So, Dak got to play better too. I mean, he missed throws, forcing it to other people, four-string tight ends. I mean, missing people. I ain't gonna say, you just paid the $60 million and this ain't it. But Dak has the blame too. You know what I'm saying? This offense ain't scoring touchdowns. You only had a couple touchdowns last week against Cleveland. You only had 1 touchdown in this game. So the offense is lacking. So that's on Dak too. So the whole offense got to step up. And basically it was fool's gold against Cleveland. Okay, and we'll talk about that real quick as I get ready to end this video. But that's what my kind of thoughts is on the offense. Don't really got too much to say about them. You know what it is, the things I talked about in the offseason just got exposed. Now this defense. This is the main thing I want to say. Physicality. We always talk about, you got a Cooper Beebe, a Tyler Guyton, they want to be a physical offensive line. They want to be a physical team. It sounds good, but all that talking the Cowboys do, right? And I ain't saying y'all soft because y'all grown men, but y'all all that talking they do, and they still be getting dominated. They still be getting out physical. When teams always decide to put their mind to what we're going to do, they always do it against Dallas, especially in that run game. What happens is from Rob Marinelli to Mike Nolan to Dan Quinn to Mike Zimmer now, it's all been the same thing. You've seen Dallas have some good numbers against the run game, and it's only because teams haven't decided to say, we're going to run and we don't care what you do. When teams decide to do that against Dallas, it's damn near successful. I would love to get the numbers for the success rate, but it feels like it's over 90%. When teams decide we're going to bully ball you and we're going to run on you whenever we want, they do it. I've seen it time and time again, so this ain't like this is a new story. But, let's start up front. Felt good last week about 97, Joseph and Jordan, right? Felt good about them against the Browns. They had a lot of offensive linemen missing, but I still felt good about you held the point, you let your linebackers eat. They didn't have Nick Chubb. They were missing like 3 offensive linemen. So maybe that skewed it, right? And that quarterback play was bad. That's the main reason. The quarterback play was bad. You didn't have Nick Chubb, and you had 3 offensive linemen that were on the mend. 2 for sure, and 1 was ailing. So I think that probably contributed to the factor, and we just didn't look at it, right? So at the end of the day, you came against the Saints team, and they came in and said, we got a better running back in Kamara. We got a pretty decent defense, pretty steady offensive line, and our quarterback's playing pretty good. So, over 20 carries, over 100 yards rushing, just did what they want. They were plowing and pushing those tackles back. Mozzie, Joseph, Jordan, all of them, just getting bullied. And what did I say about Linville Joseph and our acquisition? I can't even think of his name right now. Y'all tell me in the chat, Jordan. I can't remember his name right now. They frustrate me right now. But they not frustrate me to the point where it's just like I just knew this was going to happen. So I said I wanted those 2 guys that they just signed in the middle 4 years ago when they were 27 and 30 years old. Not when they're 34 and 31 throwing on 32. There's a reason why the Giants didn't want him and traded him over in the division to Dallas. I heard Seth Joyner from the Philadelphia Eagles say, if another team trades another player within the division, that said player was never going to do nothing with that team. That said player wasn't going to make the team, and that said player wasn't going to do anything. That's why they trade inside the division, because they know that player ain't going to do nothing. So that's why you got that trade over from the Giants, right? He wasn't the player he was before. He wasn't the player he was with the Bills, and even maybe the Cardinals. Now, we don't need you. Yeah, we'll go ahead and swap picks because he ain't going to do nothing. And Joseph is 34, 35. He's past his prime, okay? He's a big boy. But guess what? He was still sitting at home, right, waiting for a call. You done been on 3-4 teams in like a few years. Why does that keep happening? Because you're a journeyman now. And when you're a journeyman, you're not going to be the guy that's going to be the thing to get you over the hump. I told y'all, when they signed both these players, and I said they should 4 years ago, and even now, you should go still look at them. They aren't the needle mover. Go watch my videos. I said they weren't needle movers. Just because you picked up them 2 big boys in the middle, that's not moving the needle for your team to be a championship team now. No, it's not. I clearly said that before Dallas even played week 1. And now it's getting shown. You play better upper echelon teams with better quarterback play, your team is going to get exposed. And that's what it is again. Because you never really added. You're $1 late, you're a day late, and $1 short with these signings. They're shut-up signings. I said that too, that they just get these players for us to shut up. We got a defensive tackles. We got big ones. Now be quiet. But did you get guys that are going to be effective? Did you get guys that are going to take you over the hump? Or did you just get good guys so you want the noise to say, shut up and say, look, we went got big defensive tackles. Yeah, but are they effective ones? They're 32 and 35 years old. They ain't at their peak. They're not dominating like they were, and they're not playing like they were before. You got them when they're not as good. right? And it will get exposed when you play those good to better upper echelon teams, and that's what happened. Damone Clark, I don't care if the guys were getting blown back in the back. Damone Clark ain't it, okay? He's just not a physical linebacker. I don't know why they were getting more snaps from Overshown, but at the end of the day, that front line, and then Michael Parsons, where you at? I'm tired. I don't want to hear, oh, he's getting held every time. He's getting held every time. I don't want to hear that no more. I don't want to hear that excuse for no Michael Parsons no more. Where you at? Where you at? You want to get paid all that money? Where you at? Where you at? These are the games you're supposed to show up. I don't care. If the coordinator's supposed to find you ways to make impact plays, or you yourself supposed to make the impact plays. And that's what it is. And he can't be run away from no criticism. And then we already talked about those safeties. That safety play I had already made in the streets on Twitter, a tweet. Yeah, so and I put a thing out on Twitter before the season started. And I said, would y'all be mad if Wanye Thomas or Marquise Bell was starting over Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson? And you shouldn't have cut my kid Woods. But I asked that question. A lot of people like, no, I definitely wouldn't be mad. We talked about it on the final word. Go watch the episode. When I said Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas, I think they should be playing over him. Because guess what? Dono, we know he has limitations. Malik Hooker, we was excited about him a couple years ago. But once you saw him with Dallas, you were like, okay, he's not that Malik Hooker he was because of injuries. He's just not that guy, but Dallas needed safety and he did his job. Dono, we never really had a safety, but he did his job. But then when you get a Wanye and a Marquise and you see they're better players at this stage, I said, would y'all be mad to play them? No. Well, guess what? Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, exposed yesterday, especially Donovan Wilson. He was exposed really bad. You know, he's not a coverage guy. Decent in coverage back in the day, but not a coverage guy. Malik Hooker, he just don't have that speed no more. He gets beat in coverage too. And they told Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell played a total of 10 snaps apiece altogether, 5 and 5. Those other guys played over 50 snaps and got their ass kicked. Better be looking at that lineup, Zimmer. Better be looking at that lineup, Zimmer, because Dono ain't it. And people were talking about, oh, he could be a trade piece. And, when they were talking, when I say you should keep Woods and maybe use Dono as a trade piece to get somebody else. Name was being floated out there. You had too many people in the safety position, and you could have got rid of some other people, elevated them young people, and kept my guy who was young, who was hungry, and was ready to show you. He better than Donovan Wilson. Shit, I'm going to say that. Anyway, best player on the team right now is Brandon Aubrey. Let's keep it real. Sorry this video went kind of long, but watch the whole video because it tells the truths about what I've been talking about with this Dallas Cowboys team, okay? So that's why I ain't believing this hype. They're the same team they've been. They're going to win 10 games. I said they were going to win 10 games, but it's still going to be a lame duck season. They still weren't going to do anything, and they still weren't going to beat these upper echelon teams. And they were only going to beat these other teams because it's fool's gold. Because you can beat them regular teams, but when you got good quarterback play and when you got teams saying, we're going to stop you no matter what, Dallas don't know how to get away from that. So when we talk about is it schemers or players, I've seen 4 different defensive coordinators come through here, and it's all the same thing. Teams, when they decide to smack Dallas in the face, that's what they do. They smack them. When they decide to smack Dallas in the face, they smack them, just like that. That's what they did. And Dallas be doing all that chirping in the locker room, how tough and how what about that. But I don't see it on the field. So I'll just be thinking it'd be funny about all this hype about this team. And it's the same team. It's always been. Big Game James, I'm out. Peace.